Have you ever felt like you're addicted to your phone, constantly craving that next social media hit? What if you could reset your brain and break free from these digital chains? You've probably heard about the controversial world of dopamine detox, but is it all it's cracked up to be? Now, you might have heard claims about how dopamine detoxes can revolutionize your life, boost your productivity, and make you happier. But here's the thing. While taking a break from certain habits can indeed be beneficial, the science behind dopamine detoxes isn't quite what you might think. So, let's start on this journey together and uncover the truth about dopamine, its supposed dark side, and what a so-called detox really means. What exactly is dopamine? All right, let's start with the basics. What exactly is dopamine? Well, it's not the villain some internet gurus make it out to be. Dopamine is actually a pretty important neurotransmitter in our brains. Think of it as a chemical messenger that plays a crucial role in how we feel pleasure, motivation, and reward. When we experience something enjoyable like eating a delicious meal, getting a like on social media, or accomplishing a goal, our brain releases dopamine. This release makes us feel good and motivates us to repeat those behaviors. It's a key part of our brain's reward system, and it's been crucial to our survival and evolution as a species. But here's where things get interesting. In our modern world, we're constantly bombarded with stimuli that trigger dopamine release. From the endless scroll of social media to the instant gratification of online shopping, our brains are getting more frequent dopamine hits than ever before. And this is where some people start to worry about a dopamine overload. The myth of dopamine detox. Now, this is where we need to pump the brakes a bit. The term dopamine detox has gained a lot of traction online, but it's important to understand that it's not scientifically accurate. You can't actually detox your brain from dopamine, nor would you want to. Dopamine is constantly being produced in your brain, and it's essential for many functions beyond just feeling pleasure. The concept of a dopamine detox was popularized by Dr. Cameron Seppa, but it's worth noting that even he says the term isn't meant to be taken literally. What he and others are really talking about is taking a break from certain behaviors or stimuli that might be overstimulating or addictive. So, when someone talks about doing a dopamine detox, what they really mean is abstaining from activities that give them quick hits of pleasure, things like social media, video games, junk food, or other potentially addictive behaviors. The idea is to reset your brain's reward system and reduce your dependency on these stimuli. The science, or lack thereof, behind dopamine detoxes. Here's where we need to be really clear. There's no scientific evidence supporting the idea of a dopamine detox as it's commonly described. Your brain doesn't build up a tolerance to dopamine that needs to be reset, and you can't flush dopamine out of your system. What's more, the entire concept of a dopamine detox oversimplifies how our brains work. Dopamine isn't the only neurotransmitter involved in pleasure and reward. Others, like serotonin, endorphins, and oxytocin, also play important roles. And the interactions between these chemicals and our brain circuits are incredibly complex. That said, while the term dopamine detox might not be scientifically accurate, the practice of taking breaks from certain stimulating activities can have benefits. But these benefits likely come from other factors, not from detoxing from dopamine. Potential benefits of a dopamine break. So, if we're not actually detoxing from dopamine, what are the potential benefits of this practice? Well, let's break it down. By taking a break from distractions like social media or video games, you might find it easier to concentrate on other tasks. Stepping away from constant stimulation can help you become more present and aware of your thoughts and feelings. Reducing screen time, especially before bed, can lead to improved sleep quality. For some people, Cutting back on social media use can lower feelings of anxiety or fear of missing out. A phone. Simply put, when you're not scrolling through Instagram or binge-watching Netflix, you have more time for other activities. Taking breaks from instant gratification activities might help you build better self-control in the long run. Remember, these benefits don't come from changing your dopamine levels. They're more likely the result of breaking habits, reducing distractions, and giving your mind a chance to reset. How to do a dopamine break. If you're interested in trying out this practice, which we might more accurately call a digital detox or stimulation fast, here are some steps you can take. First, choose your focus. Decide which activities you want to take a break from. Common choices include social media, video games, junk food, or online shopping. Next, set a time frame. Start small. You might begin with just a few hours, then work up to a full day or even a weekend. It's important to plan alternatives. Decide what you'll do instead during your break. This could include reading, exercising, spending time in nature, or practicing mindfulness. Prepare your environment by making it easier on yourself to remove temptations. This might mean deleting apps from your phone or keeping snacks out of sight. Throughout the process, be mindful. Pay attention to how you feel during and after your break. Are you more focused, less anxious, more present? Finally, when you end your break, try to be mindful about how you reintroduce these activities into your life. Can you find a better balance? Potential risks and considerations. While taking breaks from certain activities is generally safe, there are a few things to keep in mind. Don't overdo it. Extended periods of isolation or deprivation can potentially worsen mood or anxiety for some people. Be careful with addictive behaviors. If you're dealing with a serious addiction, it's important to seek professional help rather than trying to quit cold turkey on your own. Don't expect miracles. Remember, this isn't a cure-all. It's just one tool that might help you create better habits and find more balance in your life. Mental health considerations are also important. If you're dealing with depression, anxiety, or other mental health issues, sudden changes in routine can sometimes be disruptive. Always consult with a healthcare professional before making significant lifestyle changes. The bigger picture, dopamine, and modern life. Now that we've demystified the concept of dopamine detox, let's zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture. Why has this idea gained so much traction? What does it say about our relationship with technology and pleasure in the modern world? The popularity of dopamine detoxes points to a growing awareness of how our constant connectivity and access to instant gratification might be affecting our brains and behaviors. Many of us feel overwhelmed by notifications, struggle with procrastination, or find ourselves mindlessly scrolling through social media more often than we'd like. These concerns aren't unfounded. Studies have shown that excessive use of social media can be associated with increased anxiety and depression in some individuals. The design of many apps and platforms intentionally exploits our brain's reward systems to keep us engaged, sometimes at the cost of our well-being. But it's important to remember that technology itself isn't inherently good or bad. It's a tool, and like any tool, its impact depends on how we use it. The key is finding a balance that works for you. Finding balance in a dopamine-driven world. So, how can we navigate this dopamine-driven digital landscape in a healthier way? Here are some strategies to consider. Practice mindful usage by paying attention to how you feel when using different apps or engaging in certain activities. Do they genuinely add value to your life, or are they just a habitual time sink? Set boundaries by using features like screen time limits or app blockers to create designated tech-free times in your day. You might want to practice digital minimalism by regularly auditing your digital life. Unfollow accounts that don't bring you joy, and be selective about which notifications you allow. It's also beneficial to cultivate other sources of pleasure. Engage in activities that provide more sustainable forms of satisfaction, like learning a new skill, nurturing relationships, or contributing to your community. Don't forget to prioritize sleep by establishing a tech-free wind-down routine before bed to improve your sleep quality. Staying active is crucial too. Regular physical exercise can help regulate your mood and provide natural boosts to your feel-good neurotransmitters. Finally, consider practicing mindfulness. Techniques like meditation can help you become more aware of your thoughts and impulses, making it easier to break unproductive habits. Lastly, remember, dopamine itself isn't the enemy. It plays a crucial role in motivation, learning, and yes, pleasure. The goal isn't to eliminate these feelings, but to ensure that we're finding pleasure and motivation in ways that truly enrich our lives. So, the next time you hear someone talk about a dopamine detox, you'll know the real story. And if you decide to try a stimulation fast for yourself, you'll have a more nuanced understanding of what you're really doing and what benefits you might realistically expect. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of dopamine and digital wellness. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that cuts through the hype and brings you the real science behind popular trends. Until next time, stay curious and take care.